So you think you know everything there is to know about Canadian weather, eh? Well, stick around as 5 YouTubers from across Canada help me bust some myths and misconceptions about Canadian weather. Hi there, culture eaters. We are going to talk about Canadian weather. We absolutely love to bitch about the weather year round. Let me show you a quick clip of a beautiful summer day. Ha ha ha, just kidding. That's a shot of a blizzard in Nunavut. So just wanted to pull your leg there because that's what everybody assumes the weather is like in Canada year round. It is not. It's amazing. You go on vacation and people think we're like wearing snow coats year round. It is so not the case. Because yes, it does get hot in Canada. I have asked the help of 5 amazing YouTubers all across Canada to help me out and tell you about all the different weathers that you can find here.
Hi, my name is Adam Cooper from my Halifax.
Hi guys, my name is Davison and I'm from Davison Video.
Hey guys, I'm Dan from The New Travel.
Hello, I'm Lincoln Hill from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Hi, Wanderlust Vegans here.
We are in Canada, so all the temperatures we will mention today are in Celsius. First off, we have Adam from my Halifax, hailing from Nova Scotia.
The thing about weather here in Halifax is we get 4 great seasons, except it rains in every single one of them. But we do have an expression in Halifax, which is, if you want the weather to change in Halifax, just wait 10 minutes and it will. So in truth, we don't actually have that bad in terms of weather as far as I'm concerned. The weather's certainly better here than what I grew up with in England, because that just rained all the time. It's gonna change. During this winter, we did get it when it snowed for like 36 hours straight and there was a ton of snow to move. But typically our winters are fairly manageable. I mean, last year prior to that, we did get kind of 40 centimeters every Wednesday for about 12 weeks, which is kind of annoying. But I mean, the winters are fairly regular. The spring is a little more wet than what I think most people like. The summer this year has been amazing, and we're about to head into autumn, which is typically when Nova Scotia looks its beautifulest. But that's the truth. I mean, like, if you come to Halifax or go to Cape Breton or anywhere in Nova Scotia, you can find it's a really picturesque place. So no matter what the weather, it still looks beautiful. Don't worry, it's going to change. So I don't really have a lot to complain about the weather. Although if you come to Halifax, you'll probably find someone who's prepared to complain about the weather. 10 minutes. Maybe it's 12.
Fun fact, hottest day on record in Canada, 1937 in Saskatchewan, the thermometer went to 45 degrees Celsius. Coldest weather ever recorded in Canada was in the Yukon, 1947. Hold on to your toques. The weather went to minus 62. Next up is Davison from Davison Videos, who's right here in Montreal.
What I think a Canadian's ultimate compromise is winter. Canadian winter is awful. We may have socialized medicine and Justin Trudeau is our prime minister, but unfortunately we have to suffer 3 months out of every single year. We get 3 beautiful seasons as far as I'm concerned. We get spring, summer, and fall, and then winter is a cold, wintry heck. I do not enjoy winter, and if I could do away with it in a way that wasn't due to global warming, I would. But right now it's really beautiful outside. It's nice to take a stroll when all the leaves fall. We see all the maple leaves around me. It's very, very pastoral and Canadian, though I am a little frigid right now. Not that kind of frigid, huh? Yeah, I should be wearing more clothing. In late fall and winter, you can never wear enough clothing in Canada. But other than that, I mean, we don't get malaria here. We don't have a lot of people die from heat stroke, so there is an advantage to living in a cooler climate. I just prefer, though, myself and I to be warmer rather than cooler.
There are some really good health benefits to living in cold weather for your body. For example, you will sleep better in cold weather. It's good for blood circulation as it gets the blood flowing in the skin. It's good for alertness and concentration. There are less disease-carrying insects. You will burn more calories when you are in cold weather. So my cousin Paul lives in Iqaluit, which is in Nunavut, one of the northern territories of Canada. That's probably what people assume the weather is like all the time in the rest of Canada. It really isn't. But in Iqaluit, it's freaking cold. The average summer temperature is only +8, and the average winter temperature is -27. It is in the tundra climate, and they can have some heavy winter blizzards there. I've got a couple of clips here of some winter blizzards. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be caught there at all. And here's a fun picture that my cousin sent me of he calls it his outdoor freezer, where there was such a huge snowstorm that the snow piled up so high he opened his door outside and he was in snow. Now, even though it's very cold weather there, they do enjoy it, and they do go out there and enjoy the weather even in the winter. One of the favorite activities, like my cousin's picture here, is snowmobiling. They love to go snowmobiling, and as well they go ice fishing and hunting. One thing we have learned to embrace is sports in the winter. We go ice skating, we go skiing, we go tobogganing. We even have food dedicated to snow, like maple taffy. Dan of The New Travel now lives in Vancouver, but grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Yes, Canada is cold. You want to know how cold? Well, I grew up in a city called Winnipeg, and it's not uncommon to get to -40 degrees. And if you want an idea what -40 is like, it's so cold that if you take a pot of boiling water and throw it in the air, it will freeze before it hits the ground.
Hurry, it's cold.
And because it's a random clip from the internet, you know it's true. So yes, Canada is cold, but I want to point something else out very important. There are times when Canada gets very hot. For example, Winnipeg, the city that gets to -40 in the winter time, can also get to +40 degrees Celsius in summertime. Which is crazy. I don't know anywhere else that can do that, but it happens. And somehow we live with it.
Now, one thing that people don't realize about Canada is that, yeah, sure, it's cold, but it's not like we're cold all the time. We dress properly when we go outside, but our homes are extremely insulated. Let me put it into perspective. Let's say you live in Arizona. In the summertime, it's freaking hot, like all the time. So what do? You have air conditioning in your car. You have air conditioning at work. You have air conditioning at home in all the public places that you go. So you're basically going from one air-conditioned environment to another, and you're just a little bit hot when you're outside in between those areas. It's the same thing here. Inside, it's very warm. So you're only cold a little bit when you go outside. You basically go from one hot environment to another. So indoors, you can be in your shorts and your t-shirt year-round, no problem. Lincoln from Yeg Ventures is going to tell us about the weather in Edmonton, Alberta.
Edmonton has marketed itself as a winter city, and it's not always like this. In fact, we do have the snow dump in November, and then by mid-March, everything just evaporates because the mountains kind of just stop all the moistures from coming, and that's why we're also called sunny Alberta. And Edmonton's crest actually has the sun on it because we have 2,300 hours of sunlight every year. And that brings us to our summer, and our summers are amazingly awesome because we don't get that much rain. We also have 17 hours of sunlight on summer solstice, which is amazing. But that also means we get 17 hours of darkness in the winter solstice. And as Edmontonians, we've really gone a long way from being a city that's been very miserable with the winter to completely embracing it. We had that huge snowball fight. We had, some huge winter events that happened here, including the crashed ice ice event. And you know, a lot of people don't think of coming to Edmonton in the winter, but I do actually encourage people to come during winter and experience a city a whole different way. Thanks for coming to Edmonton.
Ever heard of Chinook? That is the warm Alberta wind in the wintertime that comes down from the mountains, from the ocean, and can dramatically change the weather. The record change of weather in 1 hour was in 1960, when the temperature went from -19 to +22 in 1 hour. That is a 41-degree difference. Finally, Sarah and Chris will cover the Pacific coast with weather from Vancouver Island, BC.
Today we're going to talk about Canadian weather, and we're giving the perspective of the West Coast. We live on Vancouver Island right now, and it's known for having really mild weather compared to the rest of Canada. As you can see today, it's pretty sunny, and it's
this is October.
It's not too bad. Yeah. So people like to complain here about the rain, because we do get a lot of rain. Pretty soon it's gonna start raining, and probably won't stop raining until
April.
Yeah, so a lot of rain here, if you can put up with that, but it doesn't get really cold here.
Well, I think the lowest we'll probably hit is like -2. We may get like a centimeter of snow, maybe, in usually March we'll get snow. We usually have rainy Christmases.
So the people from here will complain about how cold it gets in the winter, and then you'll get the people from the rest of Canada that moved here and say, oh, it's nothing, I lived in Edmonton where it's -30, and then the thing that you always hear, the comeback is, oh yeah, well that's a dry cold there, but here it's a wet cold, so you
feel it in your bones here.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, Montreal is actually an island, so we definitely have a lot of humidity, even in the winter. So, Sarah, I'm gonna have to correct you on that one. Here, it can be -25 and really humid, and it's freaking cold. Did you know that Canadians coined the term humidex and wind factor? The humidex is what the temperature feels like. The highest recorded humidex was in Manitoba, where the thermometer read 34 degrees, but with the humidex, it felt like 53. And on the opposite, we have the wind factor, like today. It's -1 on the thermometer, but with the wind factor, it feels like -8. We have definitely some cold winter days, like everybody thinks.
You'll probably find someone who's prepared to complain about the weather.
You know, we do have the snow dump in November.
We'll complain about how cold it gets in the winter.
Winter is a cold, wintry heck.
And somehow we live with it.
And we have some absolutely amazing summer days as well. I have a link to every YouTuber that's here today. Make sure to go and check them out and subscribe to their channel. Thank you so much, Adam, Davison, Dan, Lincoln, Sarah, and Chris for participating. So tell me about the weather where you live. What is it like in the summertime, and what is it like in the wintertime? Leave your comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Wishing you wonderful weather year-round wherever you are. I hope I will see you very soon for some new videos. Mwah! Bye!